here at the annual meeting of the North American Menopause Society, and I am speaking with
Dr. Holly Wyatt.
And Dr. Wyatt, you are, what is your position?
I am an endocrinologist at the University of Colorado Anschutz Health and Wellness Center. So I'm an endocrinologist. I'm also an associate professor of medicine.
Well, Dr. Wyatt has some stuff that you are going to absolutely want to hear about, and that is, if you got weight and you finally get it off, how do you keep it off? So where do you begin?
Well, I like how you worded that question, because one of the key things that I'm always talking about is you do need to think about weight loss as different than weight loss maintenance, right? Whatever you do to lose weight is not necessarily the best thing or what you need to do to keep it off. And I think a lot of people, that's kind of a new concept. Something I'm talking about here at this meeting. The idea that it's not just one long continuum. Whatever you do to lose the weight, you got to do it forever.
It's like in business, what got you here won't get you there.
Yes. What works best to get the weight off isn't what works best for weight loss maintenance. So the first thing I always say is think about them separately. Don't think of them as one long continuum where, you can do a lot of things to get the weight off, but when it comes to weight loss maintenance, it's a little bit less. There's some common threads that you need to do when it comes to weight loss maintenance.
Well, let me ask you this while we're on this topic, and that is, okay, I have an intention to lose, let's just make it simple, 10 pounds.
Okay.
But I've lost 5. So I want to keep that off, but I still want to get 5 more pounds. When does what you're about to say kick in?
Yeah, great question. So if we look at the studies of the evidence, most people lose the majority of their weight in 4 months. 6 months is kind of where I draw it out. So if you look at most studies, they lose weight and it starts to plateau, meaning even if they're trying to lose weight, they don't lose anymore. That occurs around the 4 to 6 month mark. So instead of saying how much weight, I wouldn't draw it at 10 pounds or 5 pounds. I would say, when I have my patients, go in, try to lose as much weight as you can safely for 4 to 6 months max, and then we move to weight loss maintenance. So it's not about a certain amount of weight, it's about a certain time.
So you lose for time and not for weight amount.
Yes, and that's what the studies
That takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, well, I think it's a different mindset. I always say, make every day count. When you start to lose weight, make every day count, because you only get so many days. Think about weight loss as being finite and weight loss maintenance as being forever. So don't waste the days. I always say the tools are sharpest at the beginning. Don't think, I can just add on a bunch of days. Go in with that mindset, I'm going to do everything I can to get as much weight off as I can for a finite period of time, and then I'm going to very specifically and purposefully move to weight loss maintenance.
So this is really the equivalent for weight loss of burst training in a way. You're going to be intense for a while.
Yeah.
And you're going to do as hard and fast as you can, and then you're going to relax for a while.
A little bit, relax a little bit. You can't go back to doing what you were doing before.
No, not back.
But you can't keep up that burst forever either. The body fights back. The body doesn't want you to lose weight forever. There's a lot of things that kick in, both physiologically and psychologically. The environment is pushing back. There's a lot. You've got to put a lot of effort, and you can't keep that much effort forever.
No.
So make it count, and then know what you need to do to move into maintenance.
So what would be 2 or 3 things that people could do to maintain?
Yeah, we know the number one most important thing, and this is from the science, multiple studies have proven this. When it comes to keeping weight off, the number one predictor, if I was betting on you in Vegas, is going to be how much physical activity you can do. And that's been shown in study after study. Not true for weight loss. You can be very successful at getting the weight off, and you need to use diet usually to restrict calories for weight loss. But when it comes to maintenance, activity is driving the bus, and you're not going to go very far if you don't have a driver. And so, and the data would show it's anywhere between 60 to 70 minutes of physical activity, 6 to 7 days a week is about the volume of activity you need to be successful at keeping it off.
So an hour a day for at least 6 days.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because many people think that they're going to just exercise, and they're suddenly going to lose weight.
No.
And you're saying whether you exercise or not, you can lose weight. But if you want to keep it off, you got to exercise.
Right. Right, exactly. It kind of flip-flops. The driver of the car for weight loss is really nutrition. Now, physical activity is in there. It's good to be physically active. It helps with I always say the quality of the weight loss is mostly fat. There's a lot of good things about physical activity, so I don't say don't you do it.
Sure.
But you're going to have to dial in your nutrition. You're going to have to restrict your calories by some method to lose weight. But the number one predictor once you get the weight off, is physical activity. And we think that physical activity creates something called metabolic flexibility. And if you think about what that means is how many calories you're eating needs to match how many you're burning. For weight loss, you got to eat less than you burn. You got to pull them apart. But after you lose the weight, to maintain, all you got to do is match how many calories are coming in to how many calories are burning. And we call it metabolic flexibility. So if you eat a little bit more, you burn a little bit more. Or you eat a little bit less, you burn a little bit. We want the body to help match, and that helps you keep that weight off and not regain it.
Well, what are some of the tools that people can use to help them keep up with this equation?
So tools they can use in weight loss maintenance?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think any of the tools that help you track physical activity can be a tool if you're, use that type of thing, if that's good. It's really about finding activity that you can do and what you like. In my programs, we talk a lot about motivation. Really is the mindset piece that's going to allow you to keep doing it. You've got to understand, why am I doing this? And we talk about it being a lot bigger than just weight loss. This has got to be about how you want to live your life and something that's super important to you so that you're going to continue to do it. So things that motivate you and kind of get you thinking about, how do I want to live my life and what's super important to me, and how can I hook this physical activity or this increased movement to something that's super important to me.
So your why is bigger than I want to exercise. Your why is, it makes me healthy, maybe it fights with depression, maybe it lowers my risk of breast cancer. Whatever your why.
Your big why, you can have little whys, but your big why, which is going to keep you doing this long term, has to be really almost about your life purpose. What you do that's super important to you. And it's different for different people. But figuring out how either doing the physical activity or living this type of lifestyle allows me to do that better. Because that's really what people are wanting to do, right? Live their very best life. And if they can figure out how keeping that physical activity going leads them to do that, they're able to do that, that's when it sticks. That's when they're successful long term.
So here's your mind-body connection right there.
It's huge when it comes to weight management.
And
I think the field hasn't done it justice.
Any other points that people should know to keep weight off?
Wow, there's so many, and it is, I always say, when you start to lose weight, begin with the end in mind. So while you're losing the weight, one of the things I teach is, let's be getting the things in place. There's a lot of them, but let's be getting the things in place we know need to be there for you to be successful at maintaining. You can't just flip a switch. So while you're losing the weight, we're gonna help you lose the weight. There's a lot of ways you can do that. That really isn't the hardest part, but we're gonna be setting you up to have everything you need to be: your environment, your routines and rituals, your mindset, your metabolism, your social support. All those things are important. And we're gonna be setting yourself up so they're where they need to be to give you the best shot at keeping that weight off once you lose it.
So create an environment that supports you. And I imagine it helps to have people also, or at least yourself internally, celebrating your wins as things are coming off, and you maintain it, whatever the milestone is.
Sure, you always celebrate your wins, and work on kind of creating that mindset where you believe you can succeed. I think so many people think that they can't fight or win this battle. I call it the battle with the yo-yo. And the yo-yo is kind of
the battle of the bulge.
It's the battle of the yo-yo, where people lose and regain, and it's really about keeping it off. Most people that I've talked to have been successful at losing weight. Where they have not been as successful as not immediately regaining it. And so kind of that battle with the yo-yo, you've got to believe you can succeed. You've got to have a good what to do, but you've also got to have a good why you're going to do it.
Thank you very much.